What is up, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Danny Cody, giving you commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Thank you guys so much for joining. Now, before we talk about some big news, let me just get a couple small things out of the way. First and foremost, congratulations to Bailey and Naomi for getting the win in their Tornado Tag Team match, Smackdown versus Raw style, against Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. First of all, I have never seen anyone give Nia Jax the back body drop. I will never forget the hilarious moment where she fell on her butt and it became a meme in 2021. That was hilarious. However, I've never seen that before, so that's interesting. Pretty good match between LA Knight and Andrade. Andrade doing a moonsault from the top rope onto the floor with LA Knight was the highlight of the match. And obviously, Carmelo Hayes and Andrade have not settled personal issues. Congratulations to LA Knight on retaining the U.S. Championship. But tonight, we also found out that Andrade and Hayes are not done with each other by a long shot. And I personally think that they should face off at Bad Blood because the name of the pay-per-view really defines what this rivalry is. It's turned into competition. Now it's Bad Blood. Also, speaking of Bad Blood takes place in my former hometown of Atlanta, where we saw an amazing segment. In my personal opinion, I really enjoyed the segment between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and Georgia Tech because, fun fact, I already knew this, Roman Reigns was a Georgia Tech man. He played for Georgia Tech for a little bit, while Cody Rhodes, as myself, was born in Georgia, himself being North Metro and Marietta, Cobb County. Me, a bit far east. Now, that being said, that was a great segment that took place at the Georgia Tech field, and I really think it would be great. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing after they win this tag team match at Bad Blood, which they will, and it's going to be like Rock and Cena teaming up. Two rivals. When you think of rivals teaming up, you think of Undertaker and Batista. You think of Rock and Stone Cold. You think of Batista, Undertaker, Rock and Austin. And you think of this. Oh, Rock and Cena. Let's not forget The Rock and John Cena. As well as now Roman and Cody Rhodes. I think that is going to be a good match. And I know that the Tribal Chief, the OTC, and Cody Rhodes will win. I actually think it would be nice to see Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns face off in a one-on-one epic match where there is no distractions. I would love to see that. Speaking of things we would love or not love to see, we saw a very familiar scene of the Bloodline coming out to interrupt people. Actually, it was the Bloodline that was talking first. Tama Tonga was very hyped in his promo. Then DIY started fighting with Kevin Owens, and DIY and Kevin Owens fought with the Bloodline after Kevin Owens had something to say, but the Bloodline interrupted. Bloodline 2.0, may I add. So that happens. They start fighting, and Nick Aldis pulls a Theodore Long, where this tonight, players, is going to be a tag team match. Now, one more thing I would wish Theodore Long was do is make Simp 19 Dominic go one-on-one with The Undertaker. But in any event, tonight we saw another familiar scene in the main event, which is the Bloodline wrecking everyone, getting the match disqualified and thrown out, and the Bloodline continues to wreck the Street Profits and Kevin Owens. The Street Profits came out as an assist for DIY because they had got injured backstage. Then DIY comes out, gets wiped out. And it wasn't until Cody Rhodes came in with a chair that the Bloodline the Bloodline 2.0 would retreat. And so this is all becoming a very familiar scene. But what's not too familiar is Kevin Owens struggling whether to stay face or turn heel. And what's ironic is that the crowd, a couple of people in the crowd were booing when when Kevin Owens, refused to hit Cody Rhodes with the chair. That's weird. They should be happy about that. At least the heels are supposed to be hated, but I don't know. Nonetheless, before I go, I would like to remind you about a fun fact. WWE Smackdown took place tonight in Sacramento, California. The same California, Sacramento, that hosted No Mercy 2016 with an epic match with Dolph Ziggler, aka Nick Nemeth, versus The Miz, a triple threat match between Cena, Dean, and AJ Styles, and we also saw um, what else? The late Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, God rest their souls, as Bray Wyatt owned a victory over Randy Orton. Speaking of Bray Wyatt, also in Sacramento, there was a Hell in a Cell match between him and Seth Rollins. One of the worst things that fans have ever seen. Fans were so angry they chanted for AEW. I think Sasha versus Becky should have been the main event of that night if that was going to happen. But that's all the time I have for you today. Let me know what you think of Friday Night Smackdown earlier tonight. I'm your host, Dan Cody, and I will see you again with another review on all things wrestling. Peace.